Hey everyone. So, hopefully you're doing okay and everything is going well in your world. I am just going to continue to document and share with you where I am in case you don't know me. I am Melody and welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel has been evolving and I found myself in a new season, a season that a lot was going on in my life, and I had been really working overtime in trying to change my situation until God helped me to realize that I needed to just surrender to Him. Even though I am used to being a strong person and being a fighter, there's a time to fight, and then there's also a time to just let God be God. And so that's the season I'm in right now, and I'm taking you through this season with me. I'm actually walking. I stay in Florida, so the weather is usually beautiful, very beautiful. Hopefully you can see that. We're surrounded with water, and I'm just taking a walk. So please remember to subscribe and like, because my hope is that my story can inspire other people. So, picking up where I left off, my story of surrender, I think one of the things that I have not talked about is how I came into this place of surrender. I actually think it started about a year and a half ago, where I had a very good corporate job. And by all means, if you looked at me, you would have been like, wow, she's arrived. I used to be I had a position that put me over an entire division. And I absolutely enjoyed the people I was serving while I was in that job. But over time, I know I became overworked and I just did not feel alive inside. So I enjoyed the interactions because I used to help new nurses to settle in the first 2 years of nursing. That's a position that took a lot of compassion, a lot of understanding. But what I found is even that was not enough. I made a decision to leave all that. And the decision didn't come overnight, but I just knew that I wasn't happy and I had to change that. So I made a decision to leave that job. And I'm a nurse by trade. I left an office position that was a very comfortable position, and I went back into nursing. I made a decision to go back to taking care of patients, and this time I tried a different specialty. I've been an open heart critical care nurse, I've been a medical critical care nurse, I've been a transplant nurse, I've been a step down nurse, I've been a quality nurse, I am an educator, I have a master's degree. But what I found is I wanted to try something different. So I decided to go and be a mental health nurse. It was not easy. I went from commanding my space to just being one of the people on the floor, right? But I loved it because it was a time for me to be humble and a time for me to learn to serve. It was a time where I did not anticipate the changes that I actually experienced. So it's been a year and a half. I work on the floor. I'm a mental health nurse. But what I found is I actually ended up finding myself. So that's how one of the first things that God helped me to change in my life, to surrender to Him, to say I don't control my space, He's in control, to trust Him. So my new career, look at how beautiful it is. This is Florida. So beautiful. So my new career is as a floor nurse, and then I actually made a decision to go back to school, and I'll tell you more about that later. So here we are. In that, a year and a half later, I just started having Some people may call them storms, but things just started hitting me left, right, and center. Different things, different situations, different circumstances. So I was like, okay, God, how do I handle this? And that's when God said, just give it to me. Don't worry about it. I got you. And God made me realize that I always held on to things, and He needed me to release those things to Him, which is what I've done. I've been documenting what has happened since I've released things to God. I found it is just so beautiful. So beautiful. I just wanted to show you my view that I'm looking at. That's my son. We're taking a walk. We usually take a walk at night. So beautiful. So that's the view I have as I'm walking. So fast forward to where we are now is what I've found is since this journey that God has me on of letting go, letting God, I also work night shift, which is pretty different and something that I wasn't used to. And I had to stop griping about it and just accept it. I'm like, I work nights and this is what it is. I have to change how I do things. Well, what I'm finding is that God is beginning to open things that I had been praying for a long time. He's just beginning to answer those prayers. And the video before this, I shared that there was a decision I'd been waiting for a long time. And just like that, in a space of walking through this season, like intentionally walking through a season of surrendering to God, just like that, the decision came effortless, right? So like today, my washer is out, and instead of griping about it, I was like, okay, God, what do I need to do about this? Never fixed it before. I got the filter for the back, bought it, changed it, turned on my washer before I came for my walk. When I go home, I'm gonna see if it's working. If it didn't work, then I'll go to the next step of calling maintenance. But it's part of this space where when you absolutely surrender to God and you absolutely let God be God, what I am finding is what happens is things don't bother you anymore because you're not holding on to such tight control of them. And I feel as if life also realizes that you're not so uptight and you trust that God is taking care of whatever it is you need, and circumstances just work out. And I now see why God has been trying to get me to let go and let Him be God. Hopefully, this video was inspirational to you today. Hopefully, you stick around, subscribe, like, and share. Talk to you soon.